Hello, this is DaxTheAnimal from Twitch.tv, and I am recording commentary for this pre-recorded, no damage, that's professional difficulty, playthrough of RE4. Right off the bat, shoot that bird in the back because it has a spinel. Not the two in the front, they just have pesetas on them. And not nearly enough to make up for what you can sell the spinel for. This guy, you can kill this guy with one bullet sometimes. If you shoot an enemy and they do it like this dramatic spin, that's a critical hit. But usually, you gotta shoot him and then knife him. This part's just running past dudes. So this is going to be a 19-part series, one for each chapter. Make sure you shoot this bird because it has a grenade. That's very important. Let the dog out just because it's nice. It's a very nice thing to do. It's not actually going to help us during a boss fight later. It can, but we're going to kill the boss so fast, we won't need the dog. Watch out for that tripwire. Just hug the right wall and you'll be alright. You can run past this dude. As far as I can tell, he always points, no matter what. These upcoming dudes are a little trickier, though. Bait this guy, shoot this guy, and then you're good. Sometimes you can just run right by him. I wouldn't risk it. Not worth it. This is going to be the whole game without taking a single hit. There will be glitches. I will be skipping all the cutscenes, skipping certain sections with glitches. So it'll go relatively quick. I'm not doing any of the bottle cap stuff because I find it boring. You should be able to follow along with this. At the very least, find out the locations of lots of items, treasures, ammo drops. Probably learn a lot about the enemy behavior. That incendiary, that's always an incendiary grenade right there. That's also important for what we're about to do. First, like really cool strat coming up here. It's going to involve both of those grenades. Just whip the hand grenade, switch to the incendiary. Those two dudes are dead. Got the chainsaw guy. Hit him with the incendiary. And it usually takes about 9 shots. That's why I reloaded the pistol as soon as I entered this area. They always drop rubies. Rubies are worth 5,000. If you shoot an enemy in the leg when they're running, they always fall over. And there happens to be a line of enemies running towards you there. They pretty much do that every time. Very slight differences. Loop around here because it's safer. You can see there's enemies on the left. Now, this is called a door strat, for lack of a better term. Shoot a hole in the door, keep an eye on them, and just knife. Once you get in position, they won't hit you. But when you first enter, you first walk up to the door, if an enemy's in the middle of swinging and you're at the door, they will hit you. You can hit them through it, and they can hit you through it as well. But once you're in position, you're pretty much golden. Their behavior changes a little bit. Sometimes they approach you very quickly, and this part goes very quickly. Other times, they just loiter. Takes them a while to walk up to you. Sometimes it takes so long the loot out there will disappear. But that seems pretty rare. Just keep aiming down and knifing. And soon enough it's over. And it's a lot better than being out there dodging enemies. Dodging enemies, using ammo. See, it went pretty quick. It warps you out here. Grab all the stuff. And now we just have several minutes of looting, really. Just walking around this whole area and picking up lots of stuff. The Sata's right there. That's the currency in the game. I imagine anyone watching a no damage playthrough like this already knows, but it doesn't hurt to say it. There's a merchant in this game. No doubt you've seen him. And we make heavy use of that merchant. throughout this whole playthrough. I'll be picking up healing items, and if it's no damage playthrough, you're probably wondering why pick up healing items. It's because if you mix a red, a green, and a yellow herb together, then it's worth 10,000. You can sell that to the merchant for 10,000 pesetas, which is quite a lot. Like that ruby that the chainsaw dude dropped, that's worth 5,000, just to put it into perspective. Going in here is important because there's a shotgun. Going to make heavy use of the shotgun for many, many chapters. Not only does it do a lot of damage, but it's a safety net in some cases. Like the enemies that throw projectiles at you, the enemies that throw pickaxes, you can just shoot in their general direction and usually just not only stun them, but knock the pickaxe out of the air too. And, you know, stun any other enemies in that general area. It's very, very helpful. It's not a whole lot to talk about, just, again, looting. Going around and picking up all the stuff that I didn't want to pick up during the fight. I wanted it to be safe first. There's a lot of this in this game. All in all, this playthrough is about 4 hours or so. Relatively quick compared to a casual playthrough of this. Not as quick as it could be. There aren't going to be any skips for quite a while. I'll mention them when we get there. Here's something to talk about, the blue medallions. If you get 10 of them, then the merchant gives you a pistol called the Punisher. And he just gives it to you for free. And then you can sell it back to him. If you find all 15 of them, it does a little more damage, and most importantly, you can sell it back to him for more. So it's worth about 10,000 if you only find 10 of those medals, but it's worth 15,000 if you find all 15 of them, and it's worth it. Definitely worth the 5 extra bullets and a couple extra minutes. Because even with collecting as many pesetas as I do throughout this game, I don't quite manage to upgrade everything. I upgrade everything I want to upgrade, which is all that really matters, but, you know, just throwing that out there, you have to collect hundreds of thousands of pesetas just to be able to get most of the upgrades for most of the weapons. It's quite a grindy game. Just so much going around and picking stuff up. Got a lucky crit on that guy. Always satisfying. Great headshots in this game. You can see I'm looting stuff before taking out all the enemies. You can do that at your own risk. There's less enemies in this area, so it's not nearly as much of a risk as it is in the previous. I waited for that guy to climb all the way in, otherwise he would have flew backwards out of the window and made this whole process take longer. Getting my loot on. I just can't stress enough how many little hidden nooks and crannies there are in this game. Items everywhere. It's probably half of what I do throughout this playthrough. It's just going around and picking stuff up. Couple more medals over here. There are 7 total in this area, and then there will be 8 in an upcoming area. And that's number 7 right there. There's still more stuff to collect in here. Drop down and grab a beer stein. So some of the treasures you can combine with other treasures, like that beer stein. has little places where you can put other items. We'll be doing that later. And basically, it's worth a lot more if you combine them and sell them than it is if you were to sell them separately. So, worth doing. Here we go, the first of many QTEs. Nobody likes QTEs. But the good thing about the PC version of this game is, as compared to, say, the original GameCube or PS2 versions, you can just mash the buttons and it works. Originally, if you pressed a wrong button during a QTE, you just died. And it was bad. It was real bad. But now you can just mash the buttons feverishly and be alright. I hugged the right there because there's a bear trap. This is intentional right here. I recommend doing this. This has worked out every time I've tried it. Hop in there, back into that dude, run and jump out the window. That has worked every single time I've ever tried it. Everybody just dies in here. Now, when most enemies grab you, they do damage. But not those dudes, not the ones with the dynamite sticks. And what I did there is I waited for him to throw the dynamite, and as soon as he threw it, I just, while aiming, just moved the stick up a little bit. Like just twitched the stick up a tiny bit and shot. And that tends to line it up perfectly with the dynamite. Something coming up here I want to talk about a little bit because it looks fancy, but it's actually not. Right around this corner. See how I'm doing like quick shots here? As soon as I aim, I just shoot those tripwires. It looks fancy, but that's just Leon's default aim height. So it doesn't actually require any aiming skill to do that. A little bit of inventory management here right at the end of the chapter. There's that green, red, yellow mix that's going to be worth 10,000. And that's the end of the chapter. 18 more of these to go. I'll see you in the next one.